How are we doing, guys?
It's always to be Leeds versus Wigan match preview of the game. It's another absolutely humongous game. Let's be honest, it's absolutely huge, this game. You know, every single game for the next 4 games is going to be absolutely must win, and we've got to be at our absolute best. You know, at this stage of the season, strange things can happen. Strange things can happen. It's something Simon Grayson always touched on towards the end of seasons. He said, you know, the unexpected results always happen at the end of the season. When the pressure's on, teams react in different ways, and the pressure is most definitely on at the minute. But I have to say that last week, Preston away, Sheffield Wednesday at home, being massively impressed. Massively impressed. You know, I think we've been absolutely superb in both games. Okay, we got a bit of a helping hand against Preston with the 10 men, etc., etc. But Sheffield Wednesday was an absolutely dominant performance. Okay, could have scored more goals, but the performance was very, very encouraging. You cannot deny that for me. There's absolutely no denial of that. It was a superb performance on Saturday, and probably for me, our second best performance after West Brom at home in the new year. For me, I would go that far. Genuinely, I would rank it higher than Derby. I just thought the way we were under pressure and the way Sheffield Wednesday were in form, I just thought we were absolutely superb, and just brilliant. You know, just absolutely brilliant seeing the team play that way. But yeah, you know, of course, you know, we're playing Wigan, a team who are just above the relegation zone. But for me, they're a much, much better team than what that position in the table suggests. And Marcelo Bielsa has touched on this today. He feels the league position doesn't match what the quality of the team we're playing against. I'm not going to say Wigan are a top quality side, but they are better than what they are, than what the league position shows. I think they have been unlucky several times this season. You know, certain games haven't gone their way, etc., etc. But as Bielsa says as well, you know, he said in the press conference that league position doesn't necessarily correlate to how easy or difficult a game it will be. You know, I just genuinely do not feel that. You know, I think Wigan were absolutely superb over the weekend against Norwich. They were really unlucky not to win the game for me. And they gave Norwich a really, really good test at the end of the day. Yeah, it's a really good game. And it's going to be really difficult. You know, it's going to be a really, really difficult game. You know, I think I look at the team Wigan have got. Sam Morsey, Nick Powell, Reece James all stick out to me. You know, Reece James, fullback, really good attacking fullback, can play in the centre midfield, can play centre back, great range of passing. He can shoot, he can most definitely shoot. He had some great efforts on goal against Norwich, really unlucky not to score, to be honest. And I think Sam Morsey as well, centre midfielder, the more defensive minded midfielder, really breaks up play well, nice passer of the ball, keeps the ball well, etc., etc. Nick Powell, good finisher. We know all about Nick Powell. You know, he went to Man United, etc., etc. He's a good player. You know, he's a really good player at this level. I think we've been linked to him a couple of times as well since he moved to Wigan and that lot. And he's got a good goal scoring record. He's a good player. He's intelligent, and he will cause us problems potentially. And you know, we cannot underestimate them. Paul Cook used to manage me the local team Southport. It didn't go so well for him at Southport, but ever since he's left Southport, his career has just gone from strength to strength. You know, he's got to be a manager who I think Bielsa has said he massively respects, and it's going to be a really good game. I feel. You know, I think Wigan are not going to sit back like I've seen a couple of suggestions. I don't feel that. You know, I think I looked at the way Wigan played against Norwich, pressed really high up the pitch, and really tried to take the game to Norwich. Something I don't think Norwich have had much over the last couple of weeks. You know, they really tried to take the game to Norwich. And I felt for 75 minutes of the 90, they were well on top. You know, they just couldn't quite get that second goal. And Norwich got back into the game because that's what Norwich do. You know, they always score. You know, I just felt the longer and longer it stayed at 1-0, Norwich were going to get back into that game. But it's going to be tough for us, you know, most definitely. But in terms of team news, it looks like Liam Cooper is not going to make this game. There wasn't an absolute definite answer from Marcelo Bielsa in the press conference, but it's looking doubtful. So, in terms of team selection for me, I'd go exactly the same team as we did against Sheffield Wednesday. So you're looking at Kiko Kasir in goal, Luke Hayden right back, Pontus and Berra centre backs, Alioski left back, KP holding midfield, Pablo on the right, Matthias Klick and Tyler Roberts forming that fine midfield partnership just ahead of Calvin Phillips. Left hand side Jack Harrison, and up front probably Patrick Bamford. You know, I do feel that will be the team. You know, of course we've got options off the bench. That's something me and Conor discussed in the post-match pint. You look at that bench now, we've got plenty of options. You know, you can bring up Leonard Forshaw in the game to calm things down, keep the ball, show that little bit more defensive awareness. We can bring on Jack Clark to show that little bit more, a little bit more bravery on the ball maybe. You know, being a bit more direct in his running than maybe Jack Harrison or Alioski, for example. And then there's just options all over the pitch. Kamal Roof can come on for Patrick Bamford if the situation arises where we need a bit more pace up front or we need to change things up a little bit up front. You know, we've got options off the bench, which is good to see as well. You have to be buzzing with that, you know, absolutely. And you know, as much as I don't think the season's over, it's far from over. It's absolutely a million miles from being over. You know, it's 3 points at the end of the day. that could turn around in a weekend. That could turn around in one game. You know, at the end of the day, we've got some really, really tough games to come up. We're going to one of the toughest grounds I think you can go to in this level, Griffin Park. You know, on Monday. Villa at home on the Sunday. We were one of the form teams in the country, never mind the league. I just feel there's so much more football to be played, and I just feel in the Championship nothing's ever straightforward. This is Leeds United at the end of the day. It's never straightforward, but at the end of the day, Wigan at home is a game we need to win. You know, if we want to get promoted this season, we need to win this game. As much as I do rate Wigan as a team, you know, the players have got, the way they try and play the football, you know, Paul Cook's the manager, I do rate them, but it's a game we have to win. As I said against Sheffield Wednesday, it won't be an easy game, it'll be far from an easy game, it'll be a tight game for me. I just feel it's a game we have to win. You know, we have to keep that pressure on Sheffield United, keep that gap up, keep building that gap, because we might need it. We might need it towards the end of the season. You know, if Villa home goes wrong, we might need that gap. You know, at the end of the day, it's a little safety net for us. It's better than being only a point ahead, but there's still a lot of football to be played this season. But for me, I'm looking at where we can really hurt Wigan. For me, Tyler Robertson, Matej's click. You know, more specifically onto the game now. I'm looking at Tyler Robertson and thinking, wow, the guy's just playing with so much freedom at the minute. And it's an absolute joy to watch. You know, you're watching that Sheffield Wednesday game, last sort of 15-20 minutes when we sort of weren't quite as dominant in the midfield. He was still trying to take on players. He was still trying to push for that second goal. And I think for me, it's becoming one of our most important players, if not, you know, our most important player in terms of the way he stepped up to, you know, the Samuel Saïd's departure. You know, for me, Roberts is twice the player. I genuinely say that. I can't think of one aspect of Saïd's games that is even comparable to Tyler Roberts' game at the minute. I think he's just so consistently delivering performances. Matej's click as well is sort of the brains behind the operation. You know, he works really well with Tyler Roberts. I think he's really has to take great credit for that as well. The way that midfield sort of functions. You know, I think we've certainly seen that last two games. Pablo, of course, is going to be a key part of this game as well. And it's going to be a really, really good game. I feel like I think there's got goals in it this game. I'd be surprised if both teams don't score. I do feel it's going to be a really, really good game. And then I think the other debate is the centre-back pairing. You know, I think obviously Berra looks like he's going to come in alongside Pontus Jansson. For me, I think even if Liam Cooper had been fit, I would have been debating that. You know, I don't think, you know, the way Berra performed in that centre-back position defensively, I can't have any criticisms of him at all. So I'm not worried about that at all. You know, I'm not worried about that at all. Berra is absolutely solid. You know, we give you a 7, 8 out of 10 performance every game. You know, I think, of course, the perception is that, you know, he's all passion, no talent. I think that's absolute rubbish. He's unbelievable on the ball. You know, for me, he's unbelievable on the ball. And if anything, I felt on Saturday it wasn't one of his best games on the ball. I think he's an absolutely massive asset to this team. So I think it is unfair. I've seen a couple of comments about that, you know, Berra not being the most talented. I disagree with that massively. You know, the way he's gone into that centre-back position, considering he's a right-back, then he's gone to left-back, and he's moved all around that defence, and he's given us solid performances all season for me. And I think people forget how reliable Berra was at the start of the season, you know, and how, you know, until he got that injury, he didn't play, you know, and then he's come back in and he's been as reliable as ever. So it's absolutely massive, you know, that we've got the replacement option. Of course, it is a blow losing your captain. You know, of course, you do get a bit more height on set pieces off Liam Cooper, but we do gain something else, I think, in terms of composure on the ball and the ability to play several different positions in Berra. So I don't think, you know, if we lose one person's strengths, but we gain another person's strengths at the end of the day, which is good. It shows the squad rotation we have. But, yeah, I'm going to stop rambling now anyway, guys. Let us know in the comments down below your predictions for this game. And if you haven't done already, we're coming up to the deadline now for the Football Blogging Awards. We're being nominated. If you probably do know by now, we've pretty much said it on every single video. If you can vote for us, guys, it'd be an absolutely massive, an absolute world to us if you can vote for us. Because it's your votes that have got us to this stage in the first place. So if you vote for us as best new content creators, and if you can also do us a massive favour and vote for Talking Short as the best podcast, that'd be an absolute massive boost as well, guys. You know, Talking Short, great friends of the channel, done, you know, a lot of work together. You know, certainly this year and that lot. We've got a lot of work planned for the rest of the year as well. Gary and the two Bens, absolutely top lads. If you can vote for them as well, that'd be absolutely massive. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on this game. I've been Oscar Marriott. See you later, guys.